What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. Today, we are talking about being constructive or destructive. There is a definite difference. And if you don't know, we're going to talk about today that you know what the difference between being constructive and destructive is. It has levels to it, but we're going to talk about just a few things today. Frame of Mind Inc. podcast starts right now. Get your mind right. Get your mind right.
It's a frame of mind.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. This is your boy, Simbawi Nibaye Jr., a.k.a. TK, along with my man, Omar Williams. We call him O. Say what's up to the peeps.
What's going on, good people?
Another lovely Wednesday it is, and y'all know how we do. We jump right in, don't waste no time whatsoever. But before we do that, it's Affirmation Wednesday, and it's time to get those affirmations in and out the way. No matter what day it is, whether it's a day other than Wednesday, you're getting the replay of this. It's affirmation that day, that afternoon, that evening, wherever you are. If you're ready, let's do it. Today will be a good day. Today will be a great day. Today will be an amazing day. Today will be an awesome day. Today will be a phenomenal day. Today will be stress-free. Today will be a stressless day. Today, I will overcome all barriers that want to block my progress. Today, all circumstances, issues, and situations will work in my favor. Today, all things will line up for my good. Today, I will become better than who and what I was yesterday. I am a go-getter. I am victorious. I am triumphant. I am an overcomer. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I take authority over this day. I will dominate this day. I will conquer this day. And everything I have spoken into this day will happen as I have affirmed, because I am more than a conqueror. Let's get it popping. So today we are talking about being constructive, not destructive. Being constructive, not destructive. And so to go along with the theme for today, if you guys are getting the video version of this, you can see that I have my Be Constructive, Not Destructive shirt on. This is also on frameofmindinc.com. It's on our store, one of our brand tees. Be constructive, not destructive. All right. Kind of came away from the mic a little bit there, but it's all good. We have that in green, black, and I believe yellow, that is. But you also have short sleeve, you also have long sleeve, and we have a hoodie version as well. So you want to put some more positivity in your life, go to our website, frameofmindinc.com, go to the store, and go count one of those for yourself or for a loved one or a friend or someone who needs positivity in their lives. All right. We also have both male and female t-shirt versions. So if you don't want to have a regular t-shirt, then females, we have a female cut t-shirt as well. And go get that and get some more positivity in your life. Constructive definition real quick. Just a few here. Serving a useful purpose. That sounds pretty straightforward, right? Constructive. Tending to build up or relating to construction or the creation of something. Promoting improvement or development, such as constructive criticism. How many of us could use that in our lives without being,
The destructive criticism.
Yeah, or without being offended by constructive criticism,
right.
A few synonyms that go along with the word constructive. Number one, positive. I'll say it again. Positive is a synonym of construction or constructive. Useful, helpful, encouraging, productive, another good word, valuable, another great word, profitable, another great word,
Wow.
worthwhile, wow, that's another one, effective and advantageous. Let that sink in for a moment before we move forward. Let that sink in.
Wow.
Destructive, the exact opposite of constructive. Definition, just a few. Causing great and irreparable harm or danger. I'm going to say that one again. Causing great and irreparable
Harm or danger.
harm or danger. Irreparable, not just, oh, we can fix that because it's no, it's irreparable, period. No, you got to start all over again. Tending to refute and disparage, negative and unhelpful. Synonyms include, again, negative, devastating, disastrous, ruinous, catastrophic, unhelpful, as opposed to being helpful, obstructive, vicious, disadvantageous, and there are plenty more that I have not written down for us to talk about today. So let's start here. All right. So constructive, the very first synonym I saw was positive. That's the very first one I saw. And then destructive, the very first synonym that I saw was negative. So to put this all in context, to be constructive is to be positive. To be destructive is to be negative.
Right.
Podcast over. Have a good night. Well, listen, you have all these other synonyms that go along with these words. So let's start with number one, identifying who, what, and where is in your life that's constructive or destructive. All right. So let's start with who first. Who are the people who are in your life that are going to be constructive and not destructive to you? Is it family? Is it friends? Co-workers? Your circle, meaning either your inner circle or your outer circle. We talked about that a few podcasts ago. I think it was last month. Talked about your inner circle and your outer circle, meaning that your inner circle should be as tight as it should be with whoever's there. But your outer circle, which is the outer core of it, should also be just as tight because you don't want to have any contamination of that inner circle or that outer circle. Who in your circle is being constructive, not destructive to you? Mentors, coaches, people who speak into your life. Pause. Everybody cannot speak into your life. Go ahead, O.
No. If you watch the video, I just gave a thumbs up saying I approve this mess.
I thought it had something there, but yes, everybody cannot speak into your life. Now, I say that meaning that everyone can, but you should not be accepting every word that comes out of someone's mouth to speak into your life because they could be speaking constructive stuff or destructive stuff. Meaning, if it's not in line with what your purpose is or what you know you are or who you are, you should not be accepting it. Now, that does not mean for you to get nasty and tell them off like, nope, you wrong, you wrong. Be nice about it. Say thank you, brother, thank you, sister, and you what they say: chew the meat, spit out the bone.
There you go.
All you got to do. Investing time. Who's investing time in your life to get you where you got to go? Finances. Like, who is it that's in your life that's going to be constructive in your finances? For me, my man O is a person who is in my life that helps me with my finances because he does stock trades and investments. That's his thing. That's what he does. So I do it, yes, but he knows way more than me. So I'm like, look, what is it we need to invest in? Where is it we need to do trading at? because having that one source of income is great, but you need to have more than one in case one gets taken away from you. On top of that, what are you spending your money on? Is it being constructive or destructive to you? Message.
Mm.
Now let's get into the what's. What are you doing to be constructive? What kind of books are you reading? Pause. I know reading is a lost art nowadays. People don't like to read. It's all about the audiobooks. And trust me, I get it. I got audiobooks too. I get it. But there's something about reading something that really sticks in your brain because you're not just hearing what's going on, but you're actually reading it and you retain it because now you can write things down, take notes because you're seeing it, you're reading it, and it resonates more with you. Now, we all have different ways of learning, but there's just something about reading a book or reading a lyric or reading a text that just does something more to your brain than just hearing an audio book. You know, because most times with audiobooks, you got to listen to it over and over again because some stuff you miss. And even with a book, you have to too. But for most of us, when you're reading a book, you get engulfed in that book, you retain a lot more because it captures you because you're actually sitting there trying to envision what's happening or envision what's going on. So I would encourage you to read as well. All right. Podcasts. What podcasts are you listening to? This podcast is a positive, constructive podcast. Pass it on to your friends, family, coworkers, or whoever. That's what we do here. What podcast are you listening to be constructive? Now, what industry are you working in? And what podcast can you listen to help you get better in your industry or what it is you're doing? You're an entrepreneur, or you listen to entrepreneur, podcast.
Mhm.
If you're, a construction worker, or if you're, whatever industry you're in. I don't want to call stuff out there because I don't know what podcasts are out there for construction workers. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But again, courses. What courses are you taking to be constructive? We never stop learning in life. Now, I'm not saying to go back to college and go be a full-time student. Unless you want to and that's something you desire to do, then go do that. Please don't let me stop you from doing that. But I mean, what courses are you taking to better yourself in any area of your life, both personal, business, or anywhere else in between? Asking questions. Pause for the cause right here. I tell students of mine all the time that I mentor and others that I'm leading and I may be coaching or mentoring, it is not a dumb question to ask. Any question. The only dumb question out there is the one that is not asked. Because you won't get the answer. You have to ask questions. Perfect example. Everyone says LeBron James is a genius for all of his business moves. And yes, he is. Let's make one thing very, very clear. LeBron James does not know it all. He has no idea of all what he's doing. He has people around him in his inner circle and outer circle who are saying, hey, LeBron, you might want to do this. LeBron, you might want to do that. That right there, stay away from. That ain't good for you. You know why that happens? Because the more money LeBron James makes, the more money they make.
Come on, man. That's it. That's it.
So LeBron's asking questions. They're giving him answers. Michael Jordan, Jordan Brand. He learned a lot with Nike. Nike taught him a lot. But you think Michael Jordan became a billionaire because he knew what all he was doing? No. He asked questions. Michael Jordan is way more successful as a brand than he will ever probably be as a GM of a basketball team. I mean, as great as this man was, who is deemed the greatest of all time, the GOAT,
That's real.
he will be more successful with his brand than he ever will be as a GM of a basketball team. That's just plain and simple.
And he's probably more known for his brand at this point in time than his plan.
Exactly. Because there's children, who have no idea who Jordan is, but their parents buy them Jordans. And they learn about Michael Jordan by their parents buying his clothes and sneakers. That's how they learn about him. They're not sitting down watching documentaries on Michael Jordan. They're not sitting down looking at YouTube videos of Michael Jordan. They're just, oh, Jordan brand. Everyone likes it. My parents bought it for me. All right, cool. I'm gonna wear it. But talk about him as a player. They're like, who? Michael what? They're all about the Kobe Bryant, LeBron James era. That's what they know. Anybody else who's successful in life, and whatever success looks like to you, that's what success looks like to you. But whatever it looks like to you, they ask questions and they got answers because they didn't know it all. It's that simple. I know I kind of went on that one, but look, it was needed. Okay. Then I have behind asking questions, building your brand or company. How about that? Building your brand or company behind asking questions. I've already stated that. I'm not going to go back to that. I've already said that already. Your career, your profession, your community, building your community. Ask questions. You want to be effective in your community? Ask questions. Okay? Those are the whats. Now let's move on to the wheres. Where are you going to help yourself be constructive? Are you always going to the latest party, the latest club? Are you always at the movies, watching the latest movie come out, whether at home or at the movie theater? Nothing wrong with that. All I'm saying is, now unless you're a movie critic, watch all the movies you want, because that's your profession, that's your career. You are a movie critic. Go watch movies, as many as you want. If that's not your career or profession, you're gonna have to wait till it comes out, streamed, DVD, whatever. Because that 3 hours you're spending watching the movies, you could be spending time building something else that's going to bring you some success, some goals accomplished in life, etc., etc. What are you spending your money unnecessarily on? Or recklessly, for that matter? How are you recklessly spending your money? That goes back to, what books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What courses are you taking? Are you spending money on clothes and sneakers and hats and rims and whatever else you're spending money on that you probably shouldn't spend money on? Here's the thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to let O jump in here if he wants to after this. You have everything at your disposal from a money standpoint to do what needs to be done to build slowly, medium, or fast if you spend it on the right thing. I'm going to let that sink in for a moment. You have everything at your disposal to do what you need to do to build slowly or small, medium or fast and big, if you spend your money on the right things. That's all I'm going to say.
And let me just jump in here too.
Go ahead, brother.
They say the race is not given to the swift, right? So let me just speak to people who want it now, want to see everything now, some of us are first generation have anything. Mm-hmm. Some of us are first generation own a home. Some of us are first generation went to college. Some of us are first generation married, even like it's or successful marriages. I'll put it that way, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you want to construct or build or positively send your family in the right direction or your life in the right direction, you do have to get those small, it's not overnight. It's going to be building is going to take, and especially if you're coming from my perspective as a father or a foundation of my household, it's some things I got to miss out on. Got to watch my words carefully. But there's some things I got to say. There's some sacrifices I'm going to make that my next in lines are not going to have to, because I'm building the actual foundation of this thing. Yeah. If you putting in the windows and putting on the roof, that ain't as much as getting this foundation set and laid and where we're going to lay it at. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there you go.
That right there, that's a good example of how you spend your time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you spending your time on doing?
Mm-hmm.
And so people who are successful, all the things they talk about the most, they talk about, number one, time freedom is number one. And then they also talk about the fact of what you can do once your quote unquote time is up. Meaning not when you pass away and die. It's like when you're done doing all you've built and you're done, being the guy that does everything, you're like, you know what, I'm about to retire, even from whether you're working your career, your profession, or you're an entrepreneur, or you have your own business. And you're like, look, I'm retiring. It's like you don't want to spend all that time building, and then you retire and you're like, man, I have nothing to really live off of. I spent everything doing that. Like everything has its own place. So how are you spending your time? You as a father, and now touch on this, and we'll come back to this in a minute. We're just gonna touch on this real quick. As a father or a parent in general, it's important to be there for your child's this, that, and the other. Because children remember when their parents were there, and they remember when they weren't there. So it's important and you may have to miss a few things based on what you're doing, but the things you miss should not outweigh the things you don't miss. It should be like a tip scale. What you don't miss shouldn't even tip the scale at all. Like it should be your stuff you go to should far outweigh the stuff you don't. Or the things you make time for should far outweigh the things you don't. All right. And I'm not going to get too far left field. I just felt like I need to say that to somebody out there who's saying, I'm doing. Yeah. But your children are getting older and you missing out on stuff. Like, don't miss out on that stuff. Spend your time wisely. All right. Getting back to it. I said spending money unnecessarily or recklessly. Things that you could be doing. Actually, let's backtrack to the what's again. So we said, what are you doing to be constructive? And we said, reading books, podcasts, courses, asking questions, building your brand or company, building your career, building your profession, building your community. Let's talk about a few things that can be harmful or destructive to what you're doing. Harming your body, meaning with drugs, alcohol, bad food, bad nutrients, lack of exercise. Like those things are harmful to your body, which now makes you lazy, makes you lethargic, makes you, uninspired. You're not, motivated at all because your body is being dragged down by all this negative energy that you're putting into your body. There's other things out there, but those are just the few that I threw out there. What are the things that are being destructive to you that you can't get those things done? Harming your body, harming your mind, harming your spirit. You guys know that me and O were all about, being followers of Yahushua the Messiah, Elohim. So we feed our spirits every day through the word of Yahuwah, man. We feed it. We got to. We also feed our natural bodies with good food, good health, exercise, not putting things in our bodies to slow us down. Then we have the wheres. Like, where are you going to help be constructive, or where are you going that's being destructive? Now, when I say partying or going to clubs, okay, that's not something that I do. At the same time, you have to be careful with where you go, who you go with, and how long you stay. Now, here's the thing. I'm not condoning clubbing or partying in a way that's destructive to you. Everyone's going to do what they want to do, how they want to do it. I can't convince anybody not to do it unless you really don't want to. But when you go clubbing and you go partying or whatever you're doing, and you spending money on drinks, you spending money on this, you spending money on that, how much money are you spending at the club or at that party you could have spent on buying books, buying courses, building your brand, yada, 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 yada. Again, you have everything you need at your disposal to build small, medium, or large. It just depends on what you spend your money on.
Back to the point. Yeah.
Back to the point. Okay? So, where are you going to be constructive? Are you going to the gym to work out? Do you work out at home? You can work out at home too. Nothing wrong with that. Are you going to the library, picking out books to read? Are you going to Barnes and Nobles? Are you buying books offline or audiobooks or whatever you do? Are you looking at YouTube? Listen, we've done a podcast before that we talked about numerous times that, you know, YouTube has things you can listen to and or look at to motivate, inspire you. They even have a couple audiobooks on YouTube, to be honest. But let's be honest too, like YouTube can only take you but so far. But you got to start somewhere. So start somewhere. Start with YouTube. What seminars or workshops are you going to? That goes along kind of with courses or with mentors or coaches. Now, I'm not saying to spend your last dollar or dime unless you want to. Like if you feel like, hey, I got to spend this last dollar on this course to get where I'm going, that's between you and your money and your wallet and your bank account and your spouse. I'll put that in here too. Okay. If you're single and you're not married yet, you boyfriend and girlfriend, in all technicality, your money is your money. Once you get married, it's y'all's money. So make sure you spend it wisely. All right. That's a little marriage tip for y'all out there. All right. That's it. That's all we got for you guys today. Just a little constructive, destructive, comparison, some small things to drop on you guys. If you got nothing else out of this podcast, I'm going to say this one more time. You have everything at your disposal.
That's good.
To do what you need to get done to build small, medium, or large, slow or fast to get where you have to go. It all depends on what you're spending your money on, how you're spending your time, and who you're spending it with. And again, who is in your circle, both inner and outer. You got to get that straight. You got anything before we go?
Yeah, man. Just now, like after you hear this hear this podcast, whoever's listening, start weighing things out. When you're with who, what, when, where. You know what I mean? Like when you're with who, say, is this constructive people or destructive people? When you're where, is this place constructive or and so on. Like so now. We can weigh things out now after this. We now got an understanding that all things are. We don't need to be all places. Let's just say that. Exactly. Some places will destroy, and some places will build. And some places we think that are building, I'll leave it alone.
Look, I'll say this too. You just hit on something. So we've all seen. Oh my gosh, what's the name of the movie? It's not West Side Story. Bronx Tale. Seen a Bronx Tale, right? So, and if you haven't, go check it out. Bronx Tale is a great movie. In the movie, the son, Robert De Niro plays the father. His son starts hanging out with some of his friends who are not doing the right thing. They're starting to go left field, and then they really go left field. And now a Bronx Tale is kind of like a tag on from West Side Story, if you will. You've got your Italians on one side of the Bronx, and your blacks on the other side of the Bronx. And what happened was something happened between the two sides. And so his Italian friends wanted to go to the black neighborhood, and they wanted to go and set fire to one of these houses or one of these places or whatever. And they actually were going to drive into the neighborhood. And the thing you didn't do was drive into the neighborhood. You always stayed on your side of the neighborhood, of the street, whatever. And it was nighttime. He was going to go with them. And for some reason, he didn't go. I can't remember why he didn't go. It's not in my head right now. So his friend, no, he didn't. No, he started out with them in the car. He started out in the car. He drove with them to get there. And on the way there, he said, stop the car and let me out. And they were like, why? He's like, I'm not doing this. Because his father's voice was in the back of his head. They let him out. They drive off. He goes back home. They go to the neighborhood, and they had the liquor with the rag in there. You light it up, throw it out. So they go in and they start throwing these bottles with fire at the houses or whatever. So what happens is one or two of them don't hit, and so the black boys that come out the house, they grab one.
Throw them back.
They throw it back to them as they're driving away. And it busts through the back window and falls in the car. And next thing you know, that car caught fire and they couldn't get out, and they all died.
Wow.
Got burned up. And what happened? He made the decision that, you know what? I started out in this journey with you guys, but I can't finish it. This is not what I'm supposed to do. It could have been him in that car. His father would have had a funeral for him because he decided to do the wrong thing with the wrong people at the wrong time.
Wrong time, yep. And timing is everything.
Exactly. Listen, I'm not trying to say what you're going to do is going to cause you to die. It could. One way or the other. It could kill your dream or it could kill you. What I'm saying is that you got to decide what's going to be constructive or destructive in your life. Who, the what, and the wheres. That's all the time we got today, everybody. Thanks for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And of course, you can always get in contact with us if you like on our email at FOFMpodcast@frameofmindinc.com or give us a call at 302-689-3499. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. If there are any topics you want us to talk about or cover, let us know. We'd be more than happy to see if they fit our show and what we do. And if not, it's all good. We still love you. And until next time, continue to think it, speak it, and achieve it. And until next week, I'll holla. Thank you for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And as always, here at Frame of Mind Inc., think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. As our tagline says, think it, speak it, achieve it. See you next time.
It's a frame of mind. It's what you say and what you do.
Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.frameofmindinc.com, where you can browse our online apparel store, listen to some of our original music and production services, as well as view our videos and projects we've done for our clients and customers.